All right, finally, we managed to find it after waiting for 15 minutes for this game to show up on the ladder. But we finally got it. Let's go. Initial game jittery lags. That will sort itself out. We've got Dennis. Probably the best Hausa. I think it's fair to say he's the best Hausa right now in the game. He's been playing Hausa for the last few months, if not longer. He's really good with them. He's doing the meta build with them 9 times out of 10. I think I've seen 1 or 2 other builds with him. He knows how to play the Civ. He is in the top 10 at the moment, or he was, at least he was yesterday. I think he was 9th or 8th or something, which is actually really insane. So yeah, really, he's on fire at the moment. So that's congratulations to Dennis for making it to the top 10. He is a good player regardless. But yeah, since he's been playing Hausa, he's been really enjoying himself by the seams of it. But yeah, okay, cool. That's Hausa in the south of the map. Hwoarang, who we believe is Opti. Another top 10 player. I think this guy was around 6th or something. It changes on a daily basis, the top 10. It changes on a daily basis, but this guy, if it is Opti, is definitely in the top 10, 99% of the time. He's playing as Sweden, which is one of the reasons I wanted to watch this game, because as a previous Sweden main, I think it was fair for me to say, I used to struggle in this matchup, and I think it's a really bad matchup for Sweden. I think Sweden struggle very much in this matchup. If they play conventionally, at the very least. Especially on a map like this, where, you know, gold mines are... I mean, look, he's got 1 silver mine here, and then even his second silver mine isn't safe, right? And then look at the map. Look at the map. Look where all the other mines are. That is a big walking distance. That's a big walking distance. That's a big walking distance. So, like, there's so many tools for Hausa to deal with torps, right? Raiders can just run around the map, absolutely smash torps to pieces. Long before Karelians even know what hit them, before they can get halfway across the map to try and protect the mine. So this is just looking, already this looks GG for Dennis. But this is Opti we're talking about. If there's one man that doesn't play conventionally, it's him. So we'll see what he's got to do. I think their only real option really is to kind of go for a rush. Is really to try and do like quite a hard rush here. Sweden can rush. They do have an effective rush. They can age it with that tower. Just make 5 Karelians, 5 Karelians, 5 Karelians, and ship lever cannons, etc., etc. So yeah, they can rush. That's a pretty decent age up time as well. 2 minutes 43. Gonna be happy with that. Aging up with the governor, which I believe is the tower, and 200 coin. Definitely a very, even if you play, if you're not rushing and you're playing defensively, it's definitely a safe option versus this civilization, because it's such an aggressive civilization. Going to be trying to pick up 100 food here. Let's take a look at Hwoarang's deck. Okay, interesting. So nothing. I mean, he's got 600 wood and 600 gold, which is not really something you see very often. He does have ironworks, of course. He does have dominions. He does have the 2 lever cannons. He doesn't have the 1 lever cannon and artillery. Artillery factory, whatever you call them. Does have 3 hussars and 8 pikemen. Interesting card down here. He's got all your pikemen transform into halberdiers. Interesting. This is titled L. So maybe we'll see some pikemen here. That'd be cool if we see that. Pikeman into halberdiers. That is not a card you see every day. Does have a Great Northern Forest as well. That's a brilliant card. This one here. Ship 1 Karelian for each torp. Definitely a very cost-effective card if you have max torps. Look at this as well. Almost no food there. Dennis almost aging up. He's going with Song High, so he's going to be playing very standard here. Getting that university up. He's got his hunting dogs in. I'm sure we'll see snares come in as well for him. I'm going to be aging up with that 300 gold. Oh, some walls. Okay, so we're going to see some defensive play here. He is going for the 2 mines on the sides of the map, but that plays into Dennis's hands somewhat. And even this wall is a bit iffy. I mean, how's he going to protect these mines? That's what I want to know. Is he going to just send pikes down there or something? I really don't know. Doesn't have a barracks up yet, though. Dominions is his first card. Isn't even picking up that 200 coin yet.
Majestet.
Okay, so 2 of these going down here. Going for stable. I definitely like the stable start for Sweden. I think it's probably their best option, really, in a lot of matchups. But it's not something you see very often for some reason. Mainly because the skill ceiling is a lot higher to start with Cav than it is Karelians. Karelians is just safer. 5 Raiders already coming out at 5 minutes 30. And the problem is that this was a late stable. This was a really late stable, so just very greedy play. The market coming up as well with hunting dogs coming in. Is going to see that. It's going to scout these torps over here. Maybe the Raiders are going to go straight over there. Yeah, already 1 Raider going down there just to try and kill that villager, I think. Is going to see this villager. He is, and that's a bye-bye villager. As sexy as that swing walk you've got going on, you are going to get absolutely murdered and stabbed in the head. Poor girl. And yeah, now look, that torp building villager is going to go down, and these 3 torps are just so exposed now, and that can be done with 5 Raiders, whilst another 5 Raiders could just go to the right of the map, and he's making Javelin Riders. Why? Why would you make Javelin Riders? I guess he saw the stable and wants to try to counter, but I don't know. I feel like just going Raiders is probably more effective. I don't know. Maybe that's not the case, but does have 10 Raiders out. Interesting. Now going for double racks. So it's at 6 minutes 40, and I feel like the Raiders could have achieved a lot more. I mean, he has killed a couple of villagers, which is pretty nice. But he should be over here sieging, surely. Just take down the torps. Dennis, he hasn't scouted the right side of the map. Considering he has an explorer that is on cavalry, he hasn't explored the right side of the map. But he must know that he'll know that there's always a mine, a big mine that gets spawned there. So I highly doubt he's not aware that there's going to be torps over here. So that's actually a nice mass of hussars. And he's sieging down this outpost, and I don't think like he needs to. Going for crossbows. Okay. Double racks crossbows. Interesting. More Javelin Riders coming out. Karelians now. Looks like he's just built... Oh, wow, that was a really nice snipe. So 10 crossbows coming out just to snipe these Javelin Riders. Actually a pretty scary comp from Opti here. And this is not something you see every day as Sweden going hussars and expos. So that's really nice. Mixing in some Karelians now. These guys did get nerfed last patch. But look, this is why he's allowed to mass so much already. Why is Dennis not on the right side of the map sieging this down? I'm failing to understand why Dennis is not sieging this right now. Like it feels like it's whenever I watch top players sometimes I feel, why are they getting top player privilege? Like I swear I never get top player privilege, right? Because top player privilege is legit a thing, right? People play worse against top players, right? Just because there's more pressure. You know, that it feels like you're almost like, you know, it's the same for when you're like in a tournament setting. You're more nervous. Like you're more nervous playing a top player. And so you miss things sometimes. So, because I know for a fact Dennis would have been sieging down my torps right now. And we've got a big battle going on in the middle here. And the hussars are getting melted by a decent mass of Javelin Riders here. But he's going to be able to kill all of these Raiders. And there's not going to be enough. I was just about to say there's not going to be enough to take down these crossbows. But they're also getting melted. And look at this massive Fulani archers. Really nice. Maybe pulled the trigger a little bit too soon there, Opti. And this is why that's so good. This is just why. Look at this composition right here. Skirm Goon with Cav. That is good at sieging. And this is why Sweden struggles so much. Sweden definitely didn't need to push out there. I'm not really sure why he pushed out. If his torps aren't being sieged down, then he really didn't need to do much. He just needed to sit in base and keep massing. Because he would have had the eco advantage. Pressure now being applied. How does Hwoarang deal with this? How does he deal with this now? I mean, there's always the comeback mechanic with the Caroleans and the charge ability. It's always an option in the game. If you've got a big enough mass, these Fulani archers could get absolutely wrecked. But it will involve some good micro from Dennis. It will involve a good trap from Opti here. And he's got some Hussars popping out, but he decided not to pop them out forward. Could have been a nice trap there. But Dennis very aware of this when the Caroleans are diving forward, that there's something probably about to pop out. Minutemen getting called. The outpost is still firing. The hero coming in, that's going to get melted. But it is going to kind of prevent everything from following this mass. So, 3 villagers getting... sorry, 3 Hussars being called now. Interesting macro here. Just everyone on food almost. He has not sent Ironworks yet, so he's not going to be able to mass Hussars and Caroleans as much as he would like, unless he gets some villagers on the gold. And Griot's already coming in. This just feels like GG already. Getting the Griots involved as well is just full level trolling from Dennis. These Griots are so insane, especially if the Griots get targeted on the Hussars, which they do. The Griots are going to tank as well, so well. Look at these guys. 10% range was 260 HP. Oh, I just love the music. But kind of looks like Opti is microing well. But yeah, just not enough stuff. And there's just so many Fulani archers. The Fulani archers aren't getting touched. It's just the cavalry that are getting mowed down. More Caroleans. Oh, okay, interesting. We've got 600 coin getting produced. That's exactly why 600 coin is in the deck. And that definitely will allow him to produce lots of Caroleans and Hussars. Tried to get the stable back, but repaired it a little bit too late by the looks of it. 28 vills. Whilst we have 32 for Hausa. But he does have lots of torps. How many torps are we on? 140, so 3/4. More Javelin Riders coming in. These torps just being untouched on the right side of the map. He could have just had a few raiders sieging those torps down the entire game. And there's pretty much nothing Hwoarang could have done about it. And that's a sexy mass of Javelin Riders out of nowhere. And this is exactly what I was talking about, why Hausa are so good at the moment. It's just, units just come out of their arse, and it's just out of nowhere. And there's just so many ways for them to produce units, like big buttons or, you know, double war camps. And it's just, you know, it's absolutely insane. Lots of really good shipments. And this takes a lot of balls right now. He's going for age up with that 600 gold. He was able to get into the Fortress Age now. But Dennis definitely smells blood here. And look at this. It's going to be a really nice raid. And I imagine most of those villages will go down. Okay, most of them survive. Interesting. Some Sudanese dervish coming in now. And they will absolutely destroy Caroleans. The Caroleans cannot do anything here. They cannot do anything here. And they're going to use the charge ability to run away here. Very nice. Anything going to be able to trap them? Not really. And this is working out well. I mean, it is 11 Caroleans. Yes, of course, he doesn't want to lose these Caroleans, but it's buying a lot of time for his base, you know, being untouched here. And Dennis needs to weigh up if this is going to be worth it. Like, is killing these 11 Caroleans with this much mass really worth just going towards his TC? I'm not really sure. Look how much time it's buying. These Javelin Riders, they don't do a lot of damage to Caroleans. Okay, the siege finally coming in. Look how much time, though. Was this really worth it? That is the question. The torps are still remaining. So these torps are still going to be perfectly happy around here. And it's going to give him a chance to get veterancy, I believe. And that's what it looks like. Yeah, he's going to be saving that. As soon as veterancy comes in, that could change things. 3K score lead for Dennis. If Dennis loses, this is a massive throw, but this is Opti we're talking about. And yeah, veterancy is going to come in time, but No 2 heavy cannons, so he's going to need something other than just Caroleans. He is going to get the charge ability back. Like I said, there's always that option, but against this mass, I don't think that's going to be enough. There's no natives out at the moment. No, no one's going for the natives. That he just needs another card. Just desperately needs another card. I think he's going to have to be the 2 Falconets, or if he could get Jaegers out, that would be nice as well. But he's definitely not going to be able to get that sort of resource. Okay, going to go for come into the middle of the map here, and that's going to be to kind of catch any allies coming in. Kind of, yeah, catching any reinforcements is the word I'm looking for. It looks like he probably will, and look at that, catching 10 Falanis. That is beautiful. What's Dennis's response going to be? Is he going to decide to go down to the south there, or is he going to decide to take this mass out? I think taking this mass in the TC would definitely be the right option here. Doesn't have TC, does have the ability to get his Explorer back, but that's about it. Just needs, like, I don't know what he needs, like, cavalry, but there's just too many Javelin Riders. There's so many Falani Archers, so I think the only thing realistically is potentially to try and get those 2 heavy cannons out. Veterancy is coming now, so they will do well versus the Raiders. And look at that, using the stagger mode is really nice here. And that's just going to allow anyone who doesn't know Caroleans, they have their multipliers versus Cav in range. So by using stagger mode like that, it's going to ensure that they're always at a good range to hit those cavalry. So that's really nice little play there by Opti. But it's just too much mass here. These griots, don't say they're getting annoying, because they are the coolest unit in the game. They're only the coolest unit in the game when you put them on the drum mode. When you put them on this mode. That's when they become the coolest unit in the game. Dung, 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 dung. God damn. No one does it, though. No one does it. Dennis, I beg. Dennis, if you're listening, I see you in chat. If you're listening, please put griots on this mode. Put the order of the griot to play drums with mallets. Please. Please. It's the ultimate troll. If you ever wanted to troll in your life, put them in that mode. It's for visual purpose, for audio and visual purposes only. Doesn't make any difference to the unit. Just makes them louder. I will do next time. Love you, Dennis. Thank you. Next casted game, I want to see that. Another 10 units coming in. And I don't know how, but it's for a second there, it was only 2k score difference. I don't know. The longer the game goes on, it feels more and more like Dennis could potentially throw this game. But he's still looking good, though. The 2 Falconets are out. There's no heavy cav, though, so there's no flank. He's not in age 3 yet, either. Oh, wow. Opti now coming in with the raid. Gonna catch 2... Just the 1 villager by the looks of it. And Opti pushing with... not a great mass, I have to say. 10 more Caroleans coming out. I would feel a lot safer with 10 extra Caroleans. As long as he can protect the Falconets here, he might be okay. But just look at this mass. Look at this mass. To destroy these Javelin Riders is going to take a huge mass of Caroleans. And Dennis is going for it. Does Opti see? He does. Oh, and the Falconet's getting caught between his units. That was a nice little bit of micro. Rather than losing a Falconet, for sure, he's only going to lose a few Caroleans. He's going to retreat back to his base in between this gate here. A couple of Javelin Riders going to go down, but as long as the Falconets stay alive, he still has a glimmer of hope in this game. Just as well, he didn't use any Taught Mines apart from that one earlier on this silver mine, because now he has access to just villagers gathering from it. So that's very nice. But these Torps having top player privilege. Dennis not decided to just leave these the entire game. Like I said earlier, I know if it was me playing Dennis right now, that those Torps would have been gone a long time ago. But of course, Opti gets top player privilege. Could actually use these griots to go on the Falconets. There would be a really good option as well. Flank with maybe some Javelin Riders and use the griots to target the Falconets. It's such using griots on artillery is so unbelievably effective. because they're the win condition for Opti right now. So if you use Griots to slow those Falconets down, slow their rate of fire down, it's not going to do anywhere near as much damage. So that could be a cool little option there. Does have a TP. He's on this gold mine. Very nice. Eating away at that. Ooh. Ooh. Maybe we could see a big raid here. Not sure what that was about there. Oh, it looks like he might have slipped through the net without the line of sight from the war camp seeing it, and it does, and that's going to be really unfortunate. Because there is a lot of villagers. There's 19 villagers here. Is the Explorer going to go on snare mode? Oh, he does have Jaegers as well. I missed that somehow. Dennis is going up for the age up as well, so catching Dennis at a perfect time here. Jaeger's coming in now as well. That's going to be really nice against these Javelin Riders. But I think Dennis just needs to wait for veterancy on all of his units. He did pick up a couple of villages there, but didn't get the crazy raid that he wanted. 43 vills for Dennis. He is about to age up. Opti on 38. So this is still tight. The military mass is pretty even Stevens now, actually. I mean, that's a bigger mass definitely from Dennis, but these are much more expensive units. These Jaegers, Falconets, and Veteran Cavaliers. Now, how is Dennis going to decide to counter? Okay, so he's going to instantly go for the veterancy on all of his units. He's going to decide to ship Lefidi Knights. Okay, he's going to go for the heavy cab. These guys, I don't believe have... He hasn't got any of the techs for his Carolians, so that feels really bad. So he doesn't have the extra range or the extra damage versus heavy cav. So if Dennis is aware of that and he's seen in his deck that he has neither of the Carolian upgrades, then he could just go heavy cav and Fulani and do really effectively against him. Javelin Rider's going in there and sniping one of the Falconets, whilst the flank from the south is going to be from the Raiders. Is he going to kill it? Oh, just found 7 HP. That is unfortunate. The Javelin Rider is going to have to come back, and I think some of them are going to have to snipe that Falconet. Once the Falconet does go down, and there's a big, nice mass of heavy cav coming in now, but he's still leaving that Falconet alive. Finally goes down. But there's just not enough units, and these Fulani archers doing so much damage in the back here. The Jaegers just can't fire at what they want to fire because the heavy cav are messing up their attack move, so he's going to have to manually fire with the Jaegers, which feels bad, especially if you're single targeting all of these Jaegers on one Javelin Rider. So heavy cav really coming in clutch there for Dennis. 1k coin, is that coming in now? Interesting. Not sure what he's going to spend that 1k coin on. Trying to take down these last two Lefidi Knights, but look how tough these guys are. One going down, but yeah, by the time the second one goes down, all of these Jaegers are going to go the way of the Dodo. Another 18 Carolians, but what else he's going to make? I mean, he's got a lot of gold. He does have the option of going for Jaegers now. He does, yeah, that's what he's going to be using him. But yeah, maybe with both of the Carolian techs, the range and the extra multiplier versus cavalry. That could have made the difference, but didn't have it in his deck, which is kind of awful. But this is clearly not his main deck. This is a different deck to try and deal with Hausa. So you know we've got cards like this in here, which unfortunately we didn't get to see. But 12k score difference now. I think this is going to be the end tone for Flintlock. Unfortunately, I don't think Flintlock is going to be enough to change the tide of this battle. It's a decent mass of Jaegers, but yeah, with this much heavy cav, it's going to be difficult, especially without any multipliers versus cavalry. These Carolians they're not going to trade as well as they should versus cavalry, and yeah, the cavalry are going to stay alive too long, whilst the Fulani archers look at these Fulani archers are savage. They are so good, man. Their fire animation, their speed, just everything about them is so unbelievably good. And that's one of the reasons why I think that Hausa do so well versus Sweden. And there's the GG. Well played to both these guys. Tough matchup, especially on this map. Opti kept it close, and he kept it clutch for a little while. It looked like he could potentially win the game there, especially with that big raid at the bottom, but just unfortunately wasn't enough. And yeah, well played to Dennis.